Is DC League of Super Pets a super movie or a doggone shame? Let's find out now. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watch or Pass, and I'm going to talk to you about DC League of Super Pets, a new animated feature coming from Warner Brothers that features all your favorite DC characters and some lovable animals with superpowers. It is like, I don't think it's canon because it changes up some things about certain origin stories, but overall it is just a surprisingly good experience. I actually was not expecting it to be this good just because of how it was kind of rolled out, but my hot take is I think you should definitely watch it. Look, it's a really, really fun adventure. It has plenty for kids and adults to enjoy. It has really, really beautiful animation, all your DC heroes that you've grown to love. And the humor is really funny, especially for adults. There's some really clever references in there that will make sure that adults are smiling just as much as kids. Now, for parents wanting to know if this is okay for their kids, I think it is. Look, like I said, there's a little bit of crude humor, but I think it's disguised pretty well. And there's a little bit of cartoon violence, but overall, it is a fun, entertaining experience that has a lot of really good lessons. So you shouldn't worry about taking your kid to this either. So I'm gonna tell you a little about the film, a few things I liked, a few things I didn't like, and very briefly go into the ending. So there will be spoilers at the ending section. I will make sure to tell you all when that happens. But up until then, I will keep it vague so you don't have to worry too much. So in DC League of Super Pets, you have the main character, Krypto, who is a super dog. He is the dog of Clark Kent / Superman. And the way that they kind of explain this in the story is he was with Superman's parents on Krypton when the planet was going under. And so while Krypton was dying, Superman, at that time known as Kal-El, was sent off to Earth by his parents to save their son from the dying planet. And while that cockpit was closing, Kal-El, who was a baby, understandably was upset. And when Krypto, the dog, sees this, he wriggles free from the parents, runs in and jumps into the cockpit at the last minute and comforts the baby in this very stressful time. And so when the rocket goes off, Krypto and Kal-El have a space adventure, and then they end up together throughout life. And now this film takes place after Superman has grown up. He's now Clark Kent. He's doing his Superman thing, but he has a super companion dog who also has many of Superman's powers. And so it's great, but eventually a new threat comes on the scene and kidnaps Superman and all the other DC superheroes that are in this film. There are a lot of DC superheroes. You've got Wonder Woman, you've got Batman, you've got the Green Lantern, you've got Flash, you've got Cyborg, and you have Aquaman. And so now it's up to Krypto and some new friends he makes along the way to try to save both Krypto's best friend and the rest of the Justice League and the entire world. So the first thing I liked is the animation. It has this really fun kind of light cartoony look to it. Even though it's 3D, it has a nice cartoon style to it, and also has some really nice effects. The city looks great. The superpowers look great. There's some, breaking glass when things go bad. There's some really bright flashes and superpowers when, everyone is powering up. There's a lot of really beautiful animation. It's an animated movie. The first thing I'm going to say is the animation is fantastic. Second thing I loved is the humor. Look, this film had a lot of really, really great humor throughout. And what I really liked is that there was plenty of humor for both young and old. There were a lot of jokes that were a little bit on the edge, but I don't think it ever really crossed over. And it made sure that adults really enjoyed this film as well. It had a little bit more of an edgy tone to it at times. And that was a nice surprise. And also it made sure that everyone was having fun during this movie. The third thing I really loved is the heart. Look, it's an animated film. It's mostly a comedy, but there are some really heartfelt moments, especially when Krypto starts to kind of try to figure out how to save his best friend and also try to figure out some other things that have been going on in his own life. And that leads to some very heartfelt moments. They say a pet's love is unconditional, and that gets kind of tested during this adventure. And those moments do have some drama. They do have some really good life lessons. And overall, I really enjoyed the entire package. Things I didn't love, look, there wasn't really anything. I really liked this movie. I was actually pleasantly surprised by how much I liked this movie. I guess maybe some of the humor was a little bit on the edge, but I don't think it ever really crossed over. So, you can be fine with that. And I really loved that there was plenty of humor for both young and old to enjoy. So I'm going to tell you about the ending, but first, make sure to stay for after the credits. There are two stingers. I'm not going to tell you about them because I'm going to tell them in relation to the ending, but there are two stingers. Make sure to stay till the very end. There's one at the start of the credits and then one at the very end of the credits. So going to the ending, and this is where there will be spoilers. I'm just going to briefly touch on it very, very briefly. So in DC League of Super Pets, The main villain is this guinea pig named Lulu, and she was working with Lex. She was actually she was one of Lex's experiments when he was trying to experiment on different kinds of kryptonite to try to find something that would help him defeat Superman. And one of the things he found was that there's this orange kryptonite that allows its users to get superpowers. Lulu is learning from Lex. He doesn't really see her as much more than just a guinea pig, because she is a guinea pig, but also she's his test guinea pig. But she develops a big friendship with him, and she thinks that they are going to go on and dominate the world together. And eventually she uses what she learned to get a piece of orange kryptonite, and that gives her superpowers. It also gives the rest of the animals around her superpowers, which make up the rest of the crime fighting team. Lulu is the bad guinea pig, and then the rest of the crime fighting team all get their own separate superpowers. But Lulu uses the kryptonite to empower a bunch of other guinea pigs to do her bidding. So there are a lot of fun pet superheroes and supervillains in this movie. Now, eventually, Lulu becomes like so big and powerful that it's going to take both the super pets and the Justice League to stop her. So they all team up, they all work together, they are fighting Lulu. Lulu is just kind of like big, like kaiju kind of thing. She's just like a Godzilla type character because she has all this orange kryptonite in her and all this anger, and so she's using it to try to take out the Justice League and the super pets. They all combine, they all try to stop her. She's a little bit too powerful, but then Krypto uses this super move that he has, which basically has him go to the sun, absorb the radiation of the sun, and then do like a super falcon punch on Lulu. He's able to do this. Normally, this would probably hurt Krypto as much as it hurt Lulu, but his friends help to cushion the blow, and so he doesn't actually take as much damage as he normally would. But Lulu gets kind of knocked out. All the orange kryptonite that is on her and in her, because she kind of absorbed it to become super powerful, gets knocked out by the punch, and Lulu becomes just a normal guinea pig. Now, after this fight, Krypto has Superman, so Krypto's happy. Superman is back in his life. But what about the rest of his friends? The rest of his friends are Chip, who is a squirrel that gains lightning powers. There's PB, who is kind of a wonder pig. She can like grow and shrink her size. There is Merton, who is a turtle, who is an old turtle who's very slow, but she gets super speed. And then there's Ace, who's a dog. He's kind of the ringleader of this whole group of pets. He becomes super strong and invincible. And then on top of that, there's a few other guinea pigs that defect to help the superheroes. There's Marc, who becomes like a fire guinea pig, and Keith, who becomes an ice guinea pig. They don't really have anyone to watch out for them. But there's the Justice League, and all the Justice League decides to kind of adopt these pets. They're kind of worked together really well, and so each of them ends up with someone. Krypto obviously ends up with Superman. Chip the squirrel ends up with Cyborg. PB, the Wonder Pig, ends up with Wonder Woman. Merton the turtle, who's super fast, ends up with Flash. As you can imagine, that's a perfect pairing. Ace, who kind of looks like a bat hound. He has these bat ears throughout. He ends up with Batman. And then Marc, the fire guinea pig, ends up with Green Lantern, and Keith, the ice guinea pig, ends up with Aquaman. Keith is water at this point. He he melted, so now he's kind of like a water guinea pig. He ends up with Aquaman. So everyone ends up well. Everything's happy. Lulu is defeated. She is sealed up in essentially a trash can. They seal her in this prison, and everything works out. Now, the stingers that are in this film, they're both very, very good. The first stinger is, you see Lex still kind of in his cage. Lex was eventually captured by Lulu because she felt angry that he didn't give her the attention that she expected. So Lex is still in his cage, and then you see one of his henchmen, his right-hand henchperson. She comes and it looks like she's gonna save Lex, but no, she opens up this trash can thing, gets Lulu out, and says, "Look, that we were both the brains of this operation. We don't need Lex. Let's team up and kind of be bad together." And Lulu's like, "Yes, of course." So even Lulu ends up with someone. Now they're probably going to do some bad things, but at least Lulu now has a friend. And the other stinger, at the very, very end, you see Superman and Krypto playing fetch. And then you see this new dog, this looks kind of like a Doberman, but like a really buff Doberman that's all black and has a kind of gold Superman type symbol with a lightning bolt on his chest. And you find out that this is the dog of Black Adam, who is an anti-hero, who is also here. Krypto, the super dog, and Black Adam's dog have a little conversation about, what they are. Black Adam's dog insists that they are anti-heroes. Krypto's like, but that isn't that a villain? He's like, no, it's different. We're an anti-hero. And eventually Krypto tricks the dog, and then by extension Black Adam, to fly to Pluto to get out of their way so that Krypto and Superman can play fetch. Now, this is a fun scene because it shows, there's more super pets, and there's probably going to be more movies in this series. But also it was really fun because Black Adam in the new upcoming movie is played by The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Krypto, the super dog, is voiced by The Rock. So it was a fun kind of like collision of characters where the future rock star and the current rock voice are kind of at odds with each other. So that is the second stinger. You should definitely watch to the end to check them both out. And that is DC League of Super Pets. It comes to theaters on July 29th, 2022. And thanks so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.